Listening is an act of love. Thank you. You can help lift up the voices, stories, and challenges we share by making a contribution at thiswayout.org.
A sincere thank you to all of you who already support This Way Out. Your support matters.
I'm Wendy Natividad.
And I'm Wenzel Jones.
With NewsWrap, a summary of some of the news in or affecting LGBTQ communities around the world for the week ending March 19th, 2022. In a double setback for queer rights this week, the UK Privy Council upheld the right of both Bermuda and the Cayman Islands to deny civil marriage to gay and lesbian couples. The Privy Council is the final court of appeal for British overseas territories. Cayman's lesbian couple Chantal Day and Vicky Bodden-Bush famously sued for marriage equality. They won their case in March of 2019, but 8 months later an appeals court sided with the government and overturned equality. Even though the ruling called for queer couples to have a legal status equivalent to marriage, Day and Bodden-Bush decided to take their case to the Privy Council. The 5-judge panel decided unanimously on March 14th that the Cayman's Bill of Rights gives the constitutional right to marry only to heterosexual couples. They said that only the Legislative Assembly could change the law. Day and Bodden-Bush are considering taking the case to the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg, according to the Cayman Compass.
It gets more complicated in Bermuda. The Privy Council voted 4-1 that the British Island Territories law denying civil marriage to lesbian and gay couples is constitutional. A Bermuda judge opened civil marriage to same-gender couples in 2017. It was later banned and then legalized again a year later. Bermuda's Domestic Partnership Act offered same-gender couples a substitute while specifically denying them civil marriage. The government challenged an appeals court ruling that the act was unconstitutional. The Privy Court disagreed and also passed the buck to Bermuda's legislature to change the laws. Home Minister Walter Roban insists that the Domestic Partnership Act is enough. He was asked at a press conference whether the Privy Council decision ended the matter in the government's view.
It is the last court of resort in our system of government, and we respect the decision that the court has made.
As to whether the government might consider amending the Domestic Partnership Act,
at this point, not until we have a chance to talk to our legal advisors, chambers, the lawyers, and other advisors on these matters, will the government make any decisions as to what it will do next. At this point, we respect the ruling of the court.
A spokesman for the LGBTQ activist group Out Bermuda told the Royal Gazette, "The judgment reverses previous decisions reached by Bermudian courts that declared same-sex couples may constitutionally marry in Bermuda, as they have now done since 2017. It is not clear yet how the government will manage the many marriages that have already taken place."
Marriage equality was never in the cards in Kosovo. Parliament rejected the government's civil partnerships proposal on March 16th. Progressive Prime Minister Albin Kurti urged lawmakers to enact the measure, but only 28 of 120 MPs voted in favor. It would have been the first legal recognition of gay and lesbian couples in a Muslim-majority country. The partnerships bill was part of a number of reforms to Kosovo's civil code, all part of the Balkan nation's effort to join the European Union. Speaking to Parliament before the vote, Kurti told MPs, "Rights belong to everyone." Many opponents, however, cited their religious beliefs and family values. Balkan Insight reports that angry protesters hit the streets of the Kosovar capital Pristina, chanting, "Homophobes, you have no place in Parliament," and "Love is resistance, we also are part of the family."
In a win for equality advocates this week, Guatemala's Congress killed a bill to put a marriage equality ban into the nation's constitution. Lawmakers bowed to a promised veto by President Alejandro Giammattei. The bill would have also instituted a Don't Say Gay policy banning classroom discussion of sexual orientation or gender identity, and tripled the prison time for women convicted of seeking or having an abortion. Current law in the Central American country already outlaws abortion except when the woman's life is in danger. Civil marriage is restricted to heterosexual couples. The Life and Family Protection Act originally had overwhelming congressional support, but that changed after the threatened veto. 119 lawmakers voted in favor of dumping the oppressive measure, and just 19 supported its passage. Giammattei warned that the measure would have violated Guatemala's constitution and a number of its international agreements.
U.S. basketball star Brittany Griner will remain in detention until at least May 19th. This according to Russia's state news agency TASS. Griner was arrested in mid-February at a Moscow area airport for allegedly carrying cannabis oil vape cartridges in her luggage. If convicted, she faces up to 10 years in prison. Like a number of WNBA stars, the two-time Olympic gold medal winner normally spends the U.S. off-season playing in Russia. She was taken into custody on her return from New York after the Russian league's break for the FIBA World Cup qualifying tournaments. Russia's legal system is far from transparent, so it has been difficult to get accurate information about Griner's situation. She is believed to be in a cell with 2 other women accused of drug offenses. Reportedly, the only major problem she's encountered has been her prison bed, too short for her 6'9" frame. Those close to Griner and her wife Sherelle say they are working privately to secure Brittany's release. It's feared that Russia's invasion of Ukraine could make Griner a bargaining chip in already strained U.S.-Russian relations.
More than 6 in 10 people in the United States oppose Florida's Don't Say Gay bill. The random national sample in the ABC News Ipsos poll of 622 adults was conducted in mid-March among both English and Spanish-speaking adults. 62% said they were against muzzling discussion of LGBTQ issues in school classrooms, while 37% supported the ban. The survey was careful to identify LGBTQ respondents who were overwhelmingly opposed to the bill. Big surprise there. It was also opposed by 59% of those who did not identify as LGBTQ. Both houses of Florida's Republican-dominated legislature approved the bill along party lines. It awaits the almost certain signature of Republican governor and aspiring presidential nominee Ron DeSantis. Florida's Republicans have inspired fellow lawmakers to introduce similar measures in Georgia, Indiana, and Oklahoma, and to revive an almost a decade dead Don't Say Gay bill in Tennessee.
Employees of the Walt Disney Company have been particularly animated this week. They've been walking off the job during 15-minute breaks to protest CEO Bob Chapek's response to Florida's Don't Say Gay bill. A full-scale walkout is set for March 22nd. Chapek's mishandling and delay is decried on a website created by organizers of the Disney Do Better group. Their statement of demands says, "By supporting the politicians who brought this legislation and not taking a public stand against it, Chapek and company leadership have made it clear they are more than willing to sacrifice their employees' health and wellness in service of the bottom line. We will not stand for this anymore." According to the group, employees taking part in the protest action in California, Florida, and elsewhere include not only corporate office workers, but supporters who work at Lucasfilm, Pixar, Bento Box, and Disney Television Animation, among others.
Finally, Don't Say Gay has students and allies donning their walking shoes well beyond the reaches of Florida. More than 600 students from across New York City and Long Island gathered at Citi Field on March 16th for a We Say Gay rally. It was part of the 26th Annual Youth Rally and Conference of the LGBT Network, a consortium of queer nonprofits that cross generations. Its CEO David Kilmnick told WABC-TV,
"It's real important that our kids come together so that we show solidarity and support for LGBTQ youth all over the country, but that they leave the conference today with the skills that they need and the knowledge that they need to be able to go out there and advocate and change the world."
That's NewsWrap, global queer news with attitude, for the week ending March 19th, 2022. Follow the news in your area and around the world. An informed community is a strong community.
NewsWrap is written by Greg Gordon, edited by Lucia Chappelle, produced by Brian DeShazer, and brought to you by you.
Thank you. Help keep us in ears around the world at thiswayout.org, where you can also read the text of this newscast and much more.
And you can read the transcript and listen to NewsWrap each week by subscribing to our This Way Out radio channel on YouTube. For This Way Out, I'm Wenzel Jones. Stay healthy.
And I'm Wendy Natividad. Stay safe.
This Way Out delivers LGBTQ news and culture to more than 150 local communities on radio stations around the world, and we are also a free online news service. You can choose your favorite way to listen, online or on the air, at thiswayout.org. Please sign up for our free e-newsletter, Inside This Way Out. We will respect your trust in us and make sure your personal information is never shared with others.
Just send us an email at info@thiswayout.org to receive the informative and unique addition to the show. You'll be invited to join us for a more in-depth look into our stories and be encouraged to learn more about This Way Out's 3 decades of broadcast activism.
We hope you choose to join us in celebration of LGBTQ history and culture. Email us at info@thiswayout.org to join the movement.
We'll make sure you always know what's going on inside This Way Out.